Hey guys, and happy Wednesday. I'm so excited to be here with you again with another sewing tip. Now, this tip is kind of random, but we're going to be talking about double needles. Now, these are also called twin needles, and basically it's a sewing machine needle that has two needles that come off of it. Let me grab one and show you really quick. So this is a Schmetz double needle. Just like a normal needle, they come in different sizes. So like a universal, a stretch needle, those are the different kinds of points. They'll come in those as well, but also they'll come in different sizes, which is the shank. So if you don't really know about different sizes or anything, this is the typical kind to get. It's just a universal twin needle. And just the middle of the road, I usually get like a 70 or 80. You can see the 80 is on the very end there. And this is what they look like. Let me see if I can kind of hold this up for you. There you go. So see, it's just like it has one shank at the top that goes into the sewing machine where the normal needle goes, and then two needles that come off the bottom. So I'm going to show you guys how to use these, how to find out if your sewing machine can use these. But first, why would you want to use these? Okay, so I'm going to show you a good application. So on a normal t-shirt, think about a t-shirt that you're probably wearing one right now. On the sleeves or on the hem on the bottom, if you look closely, you will see, let me get this so you can see, this row of double stitching along the hemline. On the outside, it looks like a double stitching. On the inside, it looks like zigzag. And that zigzag goes right over the raw cut edge of that hem and holds it in place and keeps it from raveling. But what also happens is because of this special stitching, this fabric is still allowed to stretch. A normal straight stitch won't allow the fabric to still stretch. So you really want to be able to use a twin needle if you're sewing with stretch fabric, especially and usually if you are hemming stretch fabric. So I even like to use this if I'm hemming jeans because a lot of jeans now have stretch to them. So let's head to the sewing machine. I'll show you how to find out if your sewing machine can use one of these, which most can, how to install it. And I have this actually woven, so not really stretch, but a little stretchy material that I'm going to show you how to sew this on. Okay, give me a second. I need to switch cameras and then we will get started. Okay, so here we are at our sewing machine. I've got my double needle and I have two top threads because we'll need one thread for each side of the needle, the twin needle, and I've got my bobbin. I don't know why my bobbin was not threaded, so I'll just thread that really quick here. Now, one other thing I want to show you, hopefully will show up, is that these twin needles come in different sizes. I usually like these middle of the road ones that are about almost 1/4 of an inch wide. That's this one, if you can see that. This is my favorite size. But here you can see that we've got another one that's a lot skinnier. So that'll just be your preference on which one you prefer. It's easier to get the zigzag stitch to go across a raw edge with a wider shank spacing because you don't have to be as accurate. I think that's why I like the wide ones. Now you don't want to go too wide because you do have to be able to fit both of those shanks down in this hole right here where the needle goes down into. If it's too wide for that hole, it'll just hit and break off. Okay, so now that I remembered to show you the different sizes that are available, I'm going to show you really quick how to install this. Now, first, let me back up a second. How to tell if your sewing machine can use a twin needle. If your sewing machine has the ability to do a zigzag stitch, which you can tell over here, if there's zigzag stitches available, then your sewing machine can sew with a double needle. If your sewing machine is only able to do straight stitching, then you can't use a double needle. The good news is most sewing machines can do zigzag stitch, so you're in luck. So first we're going to start just like if we were changing out our needle to a new sewing machine needle. So we're going to take that needle out. Now, this will go in right where the needle came out, and there is a flat side of the shank just like a normal sewing machine needle, so we'll put that up there and tighten it down so that it doesn't come out. Now, if you're worried at this point, you can use your hand wheel on the side of your machine and just go down really slow. Make sure that neither of those hit. Now, even though you have to see if your sewing machine has a zigzag stitch in order to use this, you do not want to use a zigzag stitch when you have this in. You have to make sure that you are only on a straight stitch that is in the center of your presser foot. So don't put your needle all the way over to stitch on this side. Watch what happens. My needle is hitting right there. So you need to make sure that you are on a straight stitch that is centered in the presser foot. That is the most important. All right, now that that is done, I'm going to show you really quick how to thread this. Now, I'm going to pull you off of this stand for a second to just kind of show you up top. Some sewing machines will have two of these little things that you can put spools on. If so, you will start with both spools on that. Otherwise, I kind of just put them in different places to come up so they don't get tangled. Let me see if I can get this stand so that it's far enough away that you guys can see the entire sewing machine as I get to thread this. Okay, there you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with one thread. And I'm just going to put this back here like normal. I have my big cone threads, so normally you would put it on here. Then I'm going to start threading just like normal, except for when I get down here, I have two needles to choose from. So I'm just going to stick it through one side. It doesn't matter which needle that you thread first. I usually like to thread the one all the way away from the hand needle. Okay, now once you get that threaded, we're going to do our next one. And I'm just going to set it not right next to the other thread, but in the same general area. Then I'm just going to thread like normal. But once I get down here, we're just going to put it through one needle. Now, if you have an older sewing machine, you might notice that the clip right here that your thread goes through before you put it through the needle, instead of just having one clip, you might have two. If that is the case, then you will put the thread that goes through that side needle through that side clip, and the thread that goes through this side needle through this side clip. So now we are all threaded and ready to sew. Now, when you sew this, remember the zigzag goes on the back side. So we always want to make sure and be sewing with the right side up. That means you need to know how far in your raw edge is. So I'm going to measure that really quick to make sure. Yep, I did mine 1/2 inch in. So we are going to sew as if we have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Now remember to hold on to your threads when you start. And I'm going to sew along this as if I have a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So I have this fold over here lined up on the 1/2 inch mark. Okay, now you can reverse stitch while you have this twin needle in. All right, I'm going to pull this off and show you guys what it looks like here. There we go. See, you can see I have 2 different color threads in there. This is the front side. Now on the back side, you can see those threads come together and match and get kind of zigzagged over the bottom. Now that is going to keep that bottom from unraveling, and you can see here that that cut edge is right underneath those zigzags. Now this is an easy way to do a fun little hem without having to sew a ton of times or worry about that end raveling. So let me switch back to the other camera and I will say goodbye. Okay guys, so that was a pretty cool little tutorial, right? Pretty fun and easy way to do an easy hem, and especially if you're working with knits or stretch fabric, this type of hem will be able to stretch very well. So I'm super curious if you guys end up trying this or if you've done it before. Let me know if you have any questions. I know this can be kind of an overwhelming sewing tip. So if you have any questions about this, go ahead and comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can, as soon as I see those comments and questions. But I'm excited to have been able to share this awesome tip with you guys. Now, if you are watching on Facebook and want to see all of our past sewing tips, you can go to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/sewwhatbox, and all of our weekly sewing tutorials are available for you to search through and view and watch right there. If you are watching on YouTube and want to become a part of our Facebook group, you can get to our Facebook group by going to sewwhatbox.com/group. And if you're just curious about what we do here at Sew What Box, you can find out by going to sewwhatbox.com. So I hope that this was an awesome tutorial for you guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and you know what? Let me know if you try this, how it goes. Okay, guys, thanks for